and welcome back. Now it's time for our daily press review, and we are delighted to have our dear guest, Dr. Saeed, the professor of political sociology. Good morning, Dr. Saeed.
Good morning.
And thank you for being with us in the breakfast show. And we'll start our press review with the headline from اليوم السابع. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announced on Tuesday that he would not found a new political party to represent him during his meeting with the political party leaders in Egypt for the second consecutive day, which took place on Tuesday. According to the statement issued by the presidential spokesman, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi told the political party leaders that he would not found a political party to represent him for fear of causing polarization at that critical time in Egypt. Sisi has also repeated his call upon political parties to form a national party list in the upcoming parliamentary elections, which will take place next March.
As you know, the experience in recent decades in Egypt, the president was the head of a political party, a partisan. If you go back to Nasser time, the Arab Socialist Union, if you go to Sadek, the National Democratic Party, and Mubarak also. Then you had the bad experience of Morsi, the Muslim Brotherhood, when in all his discourses, he was speaking about his party, clan, and tribe, and so you needed a national leader. And it is very clear that President Sisi is avoiding being, connected with a political party or trend. Or any faction. The only faction that he is supporting is the state. He wants a strong state. And he talks a lot about the state, more than political parties. And that also explains to you why it was a little bit late that he meets the political parties. He had been meeting press, he had been meeting a lot of people, but at the same time, as you know, since the revolution 2011, we had mushrooming of political parties in Egypt. I had in 2011 only 24 parties under Mubarak. Now I have 88 political parties.
But isn't the number of political parties is so huge for that? And up till this moment, we feel any real existence on the ground for any other political parties.
And that's why, in the electoral law, they are allocating for them only 20% of the seats, and 80% are left for the independents. Political parties are mostly recent. The existence in the countryside is not well felt, which is very, because I have 58% of the population living in the countryside, 42% living in urban areas. They are mainly urban-oriented political parties. The presence in the countryside is not that strong. You still have clans, tribalism, family loyalty in the countryside. And so not many people really are taking political parties at the current state seriously. How many are the members of those political parties? We're talking about, a few thousand here and there. So they are not really well established. Some of them are just a few people, and they have a leader who had the money to spend on the party and create this political party. Now, the president met them because now we are coming to the presidential, the parliamentary election. There was, up to today, 7 to 8 coalitions, electoral coalitions, quarreling with each other, and this is expected. These are political parties; they are not unified in many issues, and so he tried, to make them be aware that we are in a special condition. This is not, normal transition.
Indeed.
This is very difficult transition. So we need you to support the state. He met them, and I think they said that I can only support one list, which is difficult because how can you bring leftist parties and right-wing parties, liberal parties, Salafi parties together in one list? You need the choice, and so this is not easy. So what is possible is several lists, liberal lists. All liberal parties should unite and have one list with the leftists also, if you will.
We have witnessed that during the Al-Qutla al-Masriya when some of the political parties, liberal political parties,
if you remember the National Salvation Fund under Morsi, which was also played an important role. Now you need a fund like that for winning the parliamentary election. They should present not only party list but also independent. And so, you know, I don't expect big deal regarding the first parliament that comes after revolution. It takes time. It takes time. So maybe the second parliament would be stronger than the first one when we are consolidating the new political system that emerged in Egypt. And that takes time. But at least we are stabilizing the country. The country is moving forward toward more stability than before.
Indeed, indeed. Moving to Shuru newspaper, and in a related issue, we read President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has issued a decree to pardon some prisoners on the occasion of the 25th of January and Police Day. Sisi issued the presidential decree to pardon some prisoners, which the presidential spokesperson, Ala Youssef, said on Tuesday applied to the sentences whose jail time will have reached 15 years on the 25th of January 2015. It also applies to those who had received prison sentences of at least 6 months if half of their sentence will have been by 25 of January. Of course, this pardon which will be issued for many of the prisoners ahead of the 25th of January anniversary. So what are your expectations for the upcoming 25th of January?
I mentioned that several times. There is no third revolution in Egypt.
Yeah, indeed.
There is no third revolution. So all this talk and exaggeration about 25th of January, we heard it before on the 28th of November, and we said that there is no way, there is nothing. You don't have a critical mass. The Egyptian people had made already 2 important revolutions. I don't think there is any chance for a third revolution. So all this talk is just, you know, people who want to prove that they are in the yeah, they are in the live life. Many of those who are, promoting this idea are living in Istanbul and Istanbul media. And so they are not really in the ground reading what is happening in the country.
Sir, after what happened in France and the incidents of the Charlie Hebdo, and we have seen this massive march which was attended by many world leaders and many French people, millions of French people against terrorism, do you believe that the world is still having the same stance regarding the situation in Egypt, and how they are viewing now from your point of view what's going on in Egypt? We have seen yesterday a police officer killed in cold blood. He was shot in the head after being kidnapped by terrorist elements in Sinai. How they are viewing that after what happened to them in France?
The trouble with terrorism is that some countries view terrorist organization as boons for political opposition, and so they give them asylum, they give them media. Look at the Turkish government stand in supporting the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt.